show is sponsored by Xkeys, the no slogan company, but a company that knows how to push a button. And welcome everyone to this first episode of the School of Live Streaming after my summer recess, which is still going on, to be honest. I'm here in Devon, in the pub in Iddesleigh. And when I was asked by Giles to talk about something, I said, yeah, I'm just going to do the stuff I'm good in. So I'm going to talk about data sources. But in the week that, before StreamFEST Live, I said, I can do that so many times. StreamFEST, my talking about data sources on my own show. Let's just have a talk. And what I'd like to do today is talk about how I arrived here at this point, but also my journey. I've been doing the School of Live Streaming now for 6 months, and all the hurdles I took and the problems I had and the future of starting with your own show. Now, if you have any questions in how to start your show or about any topic you want to discuss, please feel free to join the Zoom room or post your questions into the YouTube chat. So before I'm going to keep the segment about arriving here till the end. So how did it all started? And as with amongst a lot of you, it started my live streaming things by watching a lot of shows. You know, all the famous guys, most of them stopped. Stephen Hewitt was one. I really liked his shows, production-wise. And then I started to look up some stuff, cameras, microphones, and it was months and months and months of preparation. And I never started. And yeah, like then at a certain moment something needs to happen. And for me it was, as you all know, I won a vMix Pro license, the guys of PTC Optics. And I said, yeah, now I have the best license I can have, but I'm a Mac user, so I needed to buy a laptop. And as you probably know, if you go to the forum of vMix, people are always asking questions, which laptop, which graphics card, and blah, blah, blah. So at a certain moment, I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy this laptop. So I bought a 17-inch laptop. My first PC I've ever bought, because, I think I'm working now 30 years with Macs. I installed vMix, and I started to play, and it was playing. It was awful. Why? It seems so easy when you follow all these vMix shows. I was following Step Back in Time, but never participated. I was a passive viewer of a lot of shows. I said, this can't be that difficult, and I still didn't have a show. So at the moment I went into the whole show for the first time, and they started to ask a few questions, and I was feeling more and more comfortable. And I said, okay, now I'm going to say a date, and I think it was beginning of February or so. If I then not start with my own show, I cancel everything and I give my vMix license to someone else. I still had a reasonably good camera, a Canon HFG 30, so that was not a problem. I had the interface to bring it into my laptop. And then we talked earlier, mainly with Kenny, about microphones. Microphones literally drove me crazy because I wanted the best microphone for live streaming. Well, that doesn't exist, the best microphone for live streaming. the best microphone is the best microphone for your voice. And yeah, anyway, I think until now it's my most expensive cost, my microphone. So I bought a radio microphone, which is always in front of me. It's the microphone you often see when I'm on walls. And I still played a little bit with vMix. I became a little bit better. And even before that, at IBC in Amsterdam, I met Martin Kay and the people from vMix, and they said, yeah, I really want to do something with it. So that was another trigger. And then I said, yeah, what I'm going to talk about, what am I good in? I really like to teach. So, okay, I said, I'm going to make a school. And then the next hurdle came. I want a website. But what name do you want for the website? I was thinking, yeah, what seems obvious, School of Livestream, but I said, yeah, probably it's going to be taken, and hold or behold, but School of Livestreaming was still for free. So I said, okay, I want School of Livestreaming. And I started building my website, which took me almost 3 months to build a decent website, which I'm still not 100% happy with. I bought, I think, for about €200 plugins for to start your own shop or your own university online with WordPress. Didn't work really. I said, look, now enough is enough. I'm going to start with it. And I think halfway of February I started with the School of Livestreaming. And well, the people who followed my School of Livestreaming know what happened in my very first episode. I was, of course, but previously I did some shows for Giles as a backup. So I was comfortable with X-Keys 24, and I said, yeah, I know my stuff. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous, but it's going to work. And just before the show, I muted my microphone. Show started, I pushed the start button. Okay, streaming is up, recording is on, everything is okay. And then I had plenty of screens, but I didn't watch one of the screens. And after 20 minutes, I saw plenty of messages. No audio! Exclamation mark. No audio! So I forgot to unmute myself. So my first show was a show, well, for 20 minutes without any audio. And I wanted to stop. I was so frustrated. I said, oh look, one of the most easiest thing, and I screwed up. And then it's the strength of the, well, let's call it the Walls community for the sake of it. The strength of the Walls community played. Because during my show and the days after, I got a lot of messages. Hey Rudy, it's okay, you made a mistake, we all did it, not a problem, keep going on. And I said, no. And the next week I said, okay, I'll try it again. And I did my second show and I did my third show. And bit by bit, I built a small but very loyal audience. And this is a little bit the bridge I want to make with Walls and today is I think I have about 10 weekly viewers live, but they're there every week. And every week I got interaction from these people. And this is what kept me going on to do every week a show, finding topics. And I said, yeah, I need a goal. I need a goal to going on. So I set a goal, okay, I want 100 YouTube subscribers. Because when you have 100 YouTube subscribers, instead of that your channel name is youtube.com/ and then a bunch of numbers, it's now youtube.com/School of Livestreaming. I said, I want my 100 subscribers, but I'm not going to beg for subscribers. I'm not going on Walls, I'm not going on Tom's group or another group. hey guys, do you want to subscribe? No, I want real subscribers. And just after I started my summer recess, I got my 100 100 subscribers. So I said, yeah, now I'm there. And the problem is I'm still struggling at the moment. What to do with the school of live streaming? And the main reason is finding a topic to talk about every single week. Because I know Giles said it a few times in his show, I like to prepare my shows. Make handouts, make PowerPoint presentations. And I really like it, but I don't find a topic every week. And you can't just, well, I don't like just to talk for 50 minutes if 10 really engaged people are watching my show. I want that it be interesting for them. So I said, okay, I'm going to do some pre-recorded stuff. Now, so far I haven't done a lot. I got a lot of questions, people asking, hey Rudy, do you want to do some segments about data sources or streaming to social media? But because, as you know, that's also one of my things. I really like social media. So I'm planning to do from next week on, start with my pre-recorded segments. I'm going to upload them and maybe bring them in that way into my show. But it's almost 100% sure that I'm not going to do a weekly show anymore. It's just too difficult. And this is why I have so much appreciation for all these live streamers who does it, a weekly show. Because if you look now, Stephen Heawood, he quit. He's doing a stream now about hunting and so, but not a weekly show. A few other ones, the guys from England and the United States with a show, they quit a show. So it seems like a struggle for everyone. And let's be honest, also Tom from time to time struggles to find a topic. You can bring in guests, and Tom have a lot of people he can ask, hey, can you come into my show? I have asked Charles, I've asked Martin, let's say I've asked most of the Walls crew to come into my show. But yeah, can I ask Charles and Martin to come again to my show? Yeah, I can ask them, and they're probably going to say yes, we're coming to your show. But then it seems like you're repeating yourself, and I think if I want to do a show, I want to do it now that it's done properly, with a good intro, good segments, really building it up, a good outro, good interaction with the viewers. And it's going to cost me a little bit extra time now, but it's something I need for myself. I don't want to have a talk show. So this is what's going to happen probably the coming weeks and months with the School of Livestream. Maybe it's going to change. It all depends of topic. If I have plenty of topics, yeah, I'm doing maybe 2 or 3 weeks in a row show, and then for 1 or 2 weeks in a row show. So that's for the School of Livestreaming. And that brings me more or less to, yeah, how on earth did I arrive here? Because it's only, let's say, 1 year and a half now that I'm more or less involved, Walls and live streaming things of that. Kenny also told it. The big advantage of Walls is if you're not feeling comfortable in front of a camera, you just can call in with Zoom and audio-wise ask your questions. Even if your audio quality or your image quality is not up to par, no one is going to say you're just being appreciated to come into the show and interact with all the other live streamers. And then, yeah, bit by bit, some people of course I get know a little bit better. I met Martin K last year at IBC. This year I'm going 5 days at IBC working for vMix. And yeah, I had a lot of contact with Martin Steed and with Charles in preparation for StreamFEST Live, Tommy, Merle. And then they say, yeah, last year you did it from Belgium. It was fun. why don't you come over to England? Yeah, in fact, why not? So the advantages of well, public transports of these days. 7:30 a.m. I took the train in Brussels. Noon I was at Martin's place. Martin showed me a little bit around, and well, a little bit later we arrived here in Devon, participating in a show that we are broadcasting all over the world. And it was again when you're doing it at home in your spot, you know 100%, you're comfortable. It's rather easy. You're going to make mistakes, but it's easy. But once you come into an environment that you don't know, it's wow. Like this morning, the first segment, Giles was going to do the first segment, and he was asking, "Oh, Rudy, do you want to do the switching?" Now, I've done plenty of switching with the X-Keys 24, and I know the kit. But I said, "Oh, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes." So we were nervous, but 5 minutes into the show, and yeah, the show was going on. And it's again like what we saw today, people telling about their passion, people from Madewell. If you saw what that created, kind of a mini buzz on the chat, just people helping each other because we can. That's what keeps me going on with live streaming, because I can tell you, maybe more than not, I wanted to quit. I wasn't happy with the quality I'm delivering on the School of Live Streaming. I was mourning about yesterday's show of PTZ Optics, so that was not good, and I've had it with all these live streaming shows and blah blah blah. But in the end, it's just about the passion, and if as long as the passion is there, you can continue to do your live show. Whatever topic it's all about, I'm still talking about live streaming. I think the best example I can give is Merle. Merle is always on walls, but at a certain moment he started to do his homesteading stuff. I said, what? Homesteading stuff? You need to see the figures. I know Merle is not doing it for the figures, but the interaction Merle has, and he brought his wife into the show, Carol. It was amazing. So whenever I can, Merle has an awful hour to do his live streaming. Merle has to come to Europe, so we can watch Merle live. But this is a thing, like Merle is talking about passion, homesteading. And this is what it's all about. And no one who is watching Merle, because Merle's show is by the way, is great, but no one is going to say, oh, by the way, there is some hiss in your mic. Who cares? He's talking about vegetables, about flowers. People want to see that. They're not interested in the latest and greatest microphone or camera that Merle is using to film that. It's about the content. And that is something we often forget, that we are too, well, most of us, let's be honest, we focus too much towards the all the gear. We're talking about 4K, we're talking now about HDR, HK, microphones, bird talk, lights. But in the end, it's I have really good gear now at home. But what am I lacking for the moment? Content, passion. So if I would choose these two, passion and content, and I can combine it, let's say, with a Logitech USB camera and a very cheap microphone, I would immediately choose the cheap microphone and the USB camera, because then I can bring over my passion. And I've seen a lot of live streams where I say, production wise, blah, no, it's not good. But after the end of the show, who am I to tell people, hey, your show, your camera, the quality was not good, your audio was good. But I watched 40 minutes, and there is a show, it's all 40-45 minutes. I forgot the name of the show. But content-wise, it's amazing what those people are doing. But they don't have the means or skills to take the production to a higher level. But then I see the figures, because on YouTube it's all about figures. Yeah, they have sometimes 300 live viewers, 300. And I, the guy who knows everything, between brackets by the way, has only 10 live viewers. So it's kind of a balance you have to find, and it's an interesting balance, by the way. It keeps us also with our feet on the ground, and that we need to stay very humble. And I think our main goal has to be to bring as live streaming to as much people as possible, and that's exactly what we did with Madewell. And if we can bring tomorrow 1 or 2 other people that they start their own show with whatever equipment they have, then I think we succeeded. And we're not going to succeed if we continue moan about certain mistakes or equipment. So that's a little bit the message I wanted to give today. I don't know if there are already any questions into the chat, Giles, or if you have anything to add.
There's been a few good comments in response to your what you've been saying. If I can just get my mouse under control here, we can go back and review some of them. Right, that's not going to let me go back. Why not? Here we go. I mean, this is live stuff for you, isn't it? Anyway, there's been a certain amount of discussion about how it's not easy to do a show on your own. I mean, you do a show where you sit in front of the camera and talk, and that's not easy. That's a really odd feeling, not just to talk to the camera and nobody else in the room. And you must have felt that when you've done your show. It's much easier to do a show where you've got a bunch of people. If it doesn't matter if they're on Zoom or actually physically present in the room, it's just much easier to bounce off other people, isn't it? And it has a completely different dynamic. Yep. And certainly I find that.
Yep.
I find that when I've had to, I mean, this morning I just had to stand up in front of the camera, and really I was talking just to the camera, and it was weird. Even though there was people in the room, it still felt weird. So, I mean, it's commendable that you sat there and did that week after week.
Yeah, it's exactly a problem, and I've discussed it a few times on my show, that like even screen placement is so important for that you can see your audience even on if they are not live in your show, but that you see, okay, people are talking to me. Because if you it's constant struggle for me. Oh, I have to watch my YouTube chat. Oh, I have to watch that. And you're not interacting with your audience. Like on Walls, that's exactly what we do, interacting with each other. So we look at each other, even if it's virtual. But yeah, we hear each other. On my show, it's deliberately I didn't want to bring in guests so far via Zoom. Because technical wise, it's an extra step you have to make, bringing in Zoom guests, because it's not easy. Audio wise, it's not easy. So that's why vMix Call is so handy. But yeah, it's exactly that. I'm literally watching a wall. Now I'm watching, because at this right moment I'm watching the camera. And I see Martin behind the camera, so I know there's someone behind the camera. If I'm at home, I'm watching my smaller camera, but often I say, it's kind of a confidence you're losing.
Mm.
So it's totally true that it's not easy, and this was what I wanted to say. And it's not that I want to scare people, but it's like that. It's really. Live streaming is difficult.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I watched Tom Sinclair, like you did, and I thought, this looks like a bit of fun. I'd love to give this a go, you know, just see if I can do it. And the reality of the situation was, actually, this is really hard. Tom makes it look really easy, but it's not very easy to produce your own show and try and concentrate on what you're saying and looking down the camera and trying to press buttons at the same time. And that is not an easy thing to do. And it's something you can kind of learn to do, but it's still not easy at the end of the day. There's still a lot going on, and you know, any little distraction in the room is going to put you off what you're thinking, or it does me anyway, because I can only do one thing at once. And so, yeah, it's very difficult. What is also being said in the chat is content is king. Good audio and reasonable video is acceptable if the content is right, which is backing up what you were saying about using webcams.
Yeah, and it's, well, if there's one thing I can say to people who starts with a simple production, that was, I told it people, I knew the X-Keys 24 and the production starter kit, but I deliberately didn't want to use it in the beginning of my shows. So I could build it up bit by bit, just two inputs, well, a video input and an audio input. And then I brought in some lower thirds, okay. And then I brought in social media. And that by doing that, I learned a lot, because we can give you the producer starter kit, and if you're doing everything what's in the manual, probably everything is going to work. But you don't have a clue what's happening behind the scenes. If you don't know what shortcuts are, if you don't know what triggers are, then you're out of the blue. So I said, okay, I want to know everything about Phoenix. And trust me, I only know 10% maybe. But I only want to know, I want to know everything. If something goes wrong with audio, and that brings us, well, a little bit by Martin Kay, which at a certain moment created the NDI. How it's called, Martin, the exact name again?
The NDI no audio meter.
NDI no audio meter. For people who don't know what's that all about, it's exactly what, if I should have done that, used to have in my first show. So if there's no audio, you're hearing in your headphones, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. The audience is not hearing it, you're hearing it, and it gives you an audio signal that something is wrong with your audio. People who don't know the NDI thing, they can go to the website of Martin, which is Martin? zenvideo.co.uk/NDI. Giles is going to put that into the chat. So I really urge you to download certainly that piece of software. So that gives you an extra thing, and then you can, okay, I think I know my audio, I think I know my cameras. But let's talk, well, very briefly about cameras. Because a few months ago, the live streaming world was holding, oh, vMix has made the best extra thing ever. Everything was moaning about it for months. Now we can tweaking our color balance, and it's now 3 months or 4 months that we have this version. So far, I haven't seen a single explanation about all these kind of things. And this is, well, it kind of a rant, because people are always asking, yeah, we want that and we want that and we want that, but they don't know the theory behind it, and then they just start to play with it, and probably they say, it's not working, because then you read on the forums, it's not working. No, you don't know how it's working. So there are maybe only a few people. To be honest, I asked one guy that only does color correction. Hey, can you come into my show and please explain me what all this thing is all about? IRE, and I know a little bit about it, but so far not a single thing about this kind of things. And this is, yeah, I'm maybe going from here to there, but this is one of the things I'm afraid of, that vMix is going to become too big at the moment. Because people are always, vMix has to be a professional soundboard, has to be a professional camera, has to be a professional camera switcher, has to be a professional data source thing. And if you buy those things separately, other companies, they cost thousands, $10,000s of dollars. And here the most expensive version we have is 1,000.
Yeah.
So I think at a certain moment, my idea was that vMix should say, okay, we have our 3 or 4 versions, and you pay for that. And then let's say that people say, yeah, we want something enormous, complicated with NDI. Okay, but it's something extra. If you don't need it, then it's not there. Because now sometimes it's overwhelming, and everyone is talking about NDI here and NDI there, and then you have the beginning live streamers like I and other people, and we are in our corner. What are they talking about? But everyone is talking about it, so yeah, probably we need it. And yeah, it's a struggle for me sometimes, but yeah.
Certainly, I think it's extremely good advice to start off basic, isn't it? Keep it simple. What's that? That's that 4-letter acronym, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
And I think that's good advice. And you can build on things. If you're not happy with something, you can then go on and fix it. But you just need to get it working and actually do some live streaming. And there is no substitute for going out there and actually doing a live stream, even if it looks a bit rough around the edges. It's quite an experience the first time you do it, and and it becomes quite addictive, really. Well, it certainly has done for me. And I'm not so sure it's not been quite so addictive for you, has it? I mean, you are very keen on it, and it interests you a lot, but it's not kind of you don't want to go out there doing it all the time. No. You want to be organised, and you like things to be planned before you.
Yeah, it's probably to do it's something to do with my job. I hate it when I come somewhere and there are no handouts, or I need structure. Sometimes it's good to do something impromptu. So let's do something. It can generate a lot of great interaction. If I'm responsible at work for most of the live streams, they do, and I have kind of notes, and I go before the half an hour before the show starts. I think it's 17 points I need to check, and I check every single one of them. Yeah, it's okay. I told a little bit earlier here. Said, no, I'm going to check if there are batteries in the wireless microphones.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there were batteries. Oh, someone took the batteries away. Okay, check. Batteries okay. Lights okay. Computer okay. Start the computer, please. Well, we did it 1 hour ago. Yes. Well, you all know what's happening with Windows 10. I can assure you, if the big guy from Huawei is there and he wants to start his presentation, you push the button on the PC. Windows is updating for 30 minutes. I can assure you that's not going to happen with me. So 5 minutes before I start everything, that's okay. Cameras are okay. Audio is okay. Content is okay. And if you do it on a professional level, always have everything, if you can, in double. Extra cables, extra microphones, an extra laptop. because if something can go wrong, it would go wrong, and you can have the most expensive equipment, but a cable, for instance, an HDMI cable, you can buy an HDMI cable, let's say for €25, and you can buy an HDMI cable, a professional one, for €200. Well, I can assure you also an HDMI cable of €200 can break, and then you're there with your professional cable. So I always have a small bag with some spare cables and stuff like that. And if you want to be a professional, you have to behave like a professional. And yeah, sometimes this is exactly what live streaming is about. You are going to encounter issues, but if you are prepared, then you stay calm, because I've seen live streams where there was an audio problem.
That's not good. You can't panic.
It doesn't give a good impression to your audience or the people in front. They see some, and I've seen speakers saying, I tried to do it myself. I'm nervous as hell. But I come onto the stage, I said, but what's the problem? We just lost our audio. I said, okay, let me check. And then you're on an automatic pilot. Okay, there was no audio, I have to check. Okay, check audio cables. Okay, check audio cables this side, check audio cables that side. Volume, mute, up. Okay, it's here. Batteries are gone after 2 hours. I have to replace the batteries. Oh, was it only that? Yeah, it was only that. Batteries. Have a good show. Bye.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
This is how I like to work.
And you, as the person who has to actually fix that, I mean, it's good to remain calm, because you're only going to wind up the presenter, aren't you? And that's no good either. So it is very good if you can keep your head when everything about you is falling apart, and that's not easy to do when there's 300 viewers or whatever sitting out there waiting for you to put a show on. And it does happen quite a bit. Even with the best planning, but a checklist is a really good idea. That's something, I think this has been suggested before, that we actually should create a basic checklist.
I'm working on one checklist for live streaming, and when I was doing a journalism course, we've always been told to write for 14 years old. And what has that to do with the checklist? Just put a checklist with check audio, check camera. No. If you put a checklist, you have to say, okay, if for my live stream, for instance, are you using the right microphone? Because we talked earlier that I was using in one of my shows the wrong microphone, which appeared to be great, but I was using the wrong microphone. In vMix, is your recording on? Is your streaming on? Maybe you can see that there is a light on YouTube, but that your stream is on, but that the stream on YouTube is not okay. So maybe even the checklist just for live streaming can have 10 or 15 points. And the main thing is, if you do it once, or a few times, you have your checklist, and then audio, you're going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I know. You do it. It only takes 5 minutes because it can be a huge checklist. But if you know what you're doing in 5 or 10 minutes, your checklist is there, and then you're comfortable. And then I can then come from Belgium to here if I have my checklist, even without knowing most of the equipment. You set it up, or you have people who knows how to set it up. Okay, checklist. Yes, but probably Martin K is a professional. He knows what he does. No, don't trust Martin. Check the audio cables yourself. Because if it's not working, then I can say, no, audio was Martin's. No, it's my thing. I'm speaking now. I'm responsible for my microphone. I need to check my own equipment, and not to say, there's a professional over there. I'm not going to check it, because that's also a mistake a lot of people are doing. Also when working with external companies, they know the stuff. If you have someone in your company who knows everything, let him check also, because maybe it's just a fresh view to say, hey, this is not good, this camera is not good, this camera view is not good. Yes, but this view is professional. Yeah, but we don't like this view. We need our view. And it's really amazing. I think if we I'm going to work on the checklist. And I'm going to, let's make a promise on this show. Well, it's brand new. It just happened 5 seconds ago. We are now the second week of August, second week of August. In the beginning of September, I'm going till the beginning of September, I'm going to create a checklist. But it's going to be a checklist I'm using for my show, so maybe it's not for everyone's show, but I'm going to put everything I do every show, and maybe it's going to 40 or 50 points, but just see what all the things that can go wrong. Oh, did I put my X-Keys 24 in, and everything? Did I boot my laptop? When was the last time I did the Windows updates? All these kind of things. Put it on a checklist, and then, maybe, I don't know if people in the chat maybe we can do a small competition and ask how many points, if we count every single thing we have to check, we should check how many points there are. And I'm going to try to do it the beginning of September, and maybe we can discuss it in Wolves or my own show.
Tommy Willis says, a promise.
That's not for you, Mr. Willis. Oh, and Mr. Willis, by the way, Tommy asked if he could get a signed picture of Martin, Martin Steed, and myself. He said, yeah, the 4 big guys of StreamFEST Live. Tommy wants a signed copy, so I think maybe we try to work something out for you, Tommy. And then we send it to Tommy Willis, Alabama. Probably it's going to arrive.
That'll get there, yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's a good point that we ought to take a photograph anyway of the group together, because hopefully we will get together again in the future. But yes, it's not something that happens every day, is it? Tommy has been saying he's learned so much from you, which is great stuff. You can't scroll this list back, unfortunately, on here. Oh, yes, you can.
I said it a few times already in my show, but Tommy is also, we often laugh, but Tommy is a good example. Normally it's me who is responsible for all the social media stuff. I really like to do it on Wolf Show and here on this show. But if you're doing a live show yourself and you have to do an extra on social media, it's near to impossible. And without asking anything, it was Tommy, but it can be on other shows. Someone else said, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." And Tommy started to say, "Hey, don't forget to do a thumbs up on your show." Again, this is
it's important stuff.
The greatness of the community, people helping each other out. Yeah, okay, I'm watching the show, so I am going to help him out. Give a shout out on YouTube or Facebook or whatever medium. So it's I repeat myself so often, but it's nice that you know there are people who are helping you with your show. The most amazing thing this year for me was that I suddenly received an envelope out of Germany, the Deutsche Post. I didn't order anything. I said, "Ma, did you order something?" No. So I opened the envelope and there were transparent labels for my APC Mini. So Elmar sent me labels for my APC Mini. We talked about because I had these post-it notes that I cut out, put. This is horrible. You really need translucent labels. I said, yeah, okay. I'll try to figure out something. A week later, an envelope with labels.
Fantastic.
And yeah, there are plenty of examples. People are trying to help each other, and yeah, it's for me. That's maybe it's at the same time it's a thing I'm so afraid of, that I'm going to lose the friends, and I call everyone on livestream a friend now. That for what reason or the other, that you're losing contact with those people. It happened. I always forgot the name of the previous thing we all were in, the chat, the live streaming thing. That was a big buzz at a certain moment.
In the UK? Or?
No, it was everywhere.
Ever.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking to each other. I think it was for Tommy also the start of.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, it's that thing that you can dive in and be part of the show.
Yeah,
I'm just trying
anyone in the chat maybe that still knows the name of that software?
Yeah, it was a website, wasn't it, that you could go to and just join in.
An enormous amount of people were suddenly talking to each other, and well, they were talking about their hair. No, wrong example. But they were talking to each other, and then suddenly you saw, those trolls coming in.
Blab.
And Blab. It was Blab.
Thank you, Elmar.
Okay, thanks, Elmar. But people were laughing with Blab when it went away. But I think what Blab did for the live streaming community was huge, because it was the first program, I think, where you just could go and have a chat about whatever topic you liked about. And I think that's exactly the problem. I'm convinced there are people who wants to talk about their passion, but maybe there's only 1 or 2 people who are going to watch. Yeah, so what? Do you like it? Do you like to share your passion? Just do it. And I think that's the thing we have to remember. Just do it, and
people will support you. And it's World of Live Streaming wouldn't have survived without people joining in. I mean, Merle and I sort of sat there the first couple of times and did a couple of shows, and then one night we just thought, let's see what happens if we just say, call in if you want to. And we've had some great go. I mean, that's how we met you. It's how, there is a huge community, and as everybody's saying in the chat here, everybody will support each other. It's a fantastic thing. The spirit of idiots share. That's what Chris Watts is saying, and I couldn't agree more, Chris. If you're gonna do a show, come on the World of Live Streaming. Come on Rudy's show. Tell people about it, and then the people who watch our show, which isn't a huge number of people, but it's some people, will then know about what you're doing, and then they can come and see what you're up to, and it's all about spreading the word. And I think we all do that for each other, and that really helps to make people aware of all these new live streams, because there are zillions of them out there. It's being just sort of getting a head above the parapet's the difficult bit, isn't it? So and StreamFEST Live is exactly the same. Call in, tell us about what you're doing. Come in on Zoom, and that would be really great. And in fact, on the World of Live Streaming show, which follows this segment in a few minutes' time, that's your opportunity. Call in, say hello, and we really love to know what you're doing. So there's been quite a lot of discussion about ice cream in the chat room. I'm puzzled as to why.
Well, it's sometimes it's interesting because it gives an example of what's possible on higher scale. So at a certain moment, well, in the summer months we have an ice cream car, and it's, well,
Excuse me.
the sound he makes is massive. It's really ding 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 ding, and people were asking, "Oh, Rudy, what is that?" I said, "Yeah, the ice cream car." No, that it's not possible. That it's the ice cream car. I said, "Well, I'm going to prove it to you." And in one of my shows, I went down and I took an ice cream, and I've done it a few times also on walls. Oh, by the way, I'll be back in 5 minutes, and yeah. Now I'm the guy with the ice cream. So often in my show, Tommy and Merle and Elmar and Dan Slider, they start talking about ice cream. And yeah, whenever I can, I take a picture of myself with an ice cream and I send it to a few people. And they're not always happy with it. But yeah, but it shows you that a crazy idea, and then you say, look, this is trending. So sometimes I can call myself trending on the live streaming world with ice cream. That reminds me, maybe I should ask an ice cream company if they don't want to sponsor my show. That should be interesting.
That's an interesting idea.
Something to work on.
Well, there you go. You heard it first on StreamFEST Live. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. Was it Chris Watts said, did I send enough ice cream? Apparently not. We got some iced water, which actually was most refreshing. I must refresh my glass. Chris Watts also says, if Tom equals null, blame Giles, else blame Tom. Well, there you go.
We need you, Tommy. We love you.
So, So, yes, ice cream. Ice cream. I could steal an ice cream.
Unfortunately, that's something for when I'm in Belgium. Well, maybe not. Because I think it was at Martin I asked. Then you see the cultural differences. They were talking about a 99-year-old.
A 99, yeah, with a flake in it.
Yeah. What's a 99? Yeah. So, okay, guilty as charged. I love ice cream. But it is what it is.
Doesn't seem to be doing you any harm.
No. Well,
yeah, so that's a project coming up. But you're also well known for posting pictures of pints of beer.
Yeah, and food, and I keep track on the time, of course, but in a few days, in a few weeks, I'm going to start with another project, which is going to be in Dutch, and that's going to be about really serious stuff. Maybe I'm going to talk about people having cancer or people having some other problems. I'm going to interview people, but it's all going to be mobile. So it's only going to be done with my iPhone and a small rig. But at the same time, I'm going to interview, what Martin did live. Maybe people from an ice cream car. Do you sell much ice cream and stuff like that with a twinkle? So it's going to be fun at the same time serious. But it's going to be in Dutch because that's one thing I didn't talk about, and I'm not going to start the discussion. But it's really an extra hurdle for me. Now speaking in another, which is not your native language. Because you're okay, but sometimes you want to say something, you want to bring an emotion over, and you don't find the right words, and then it gets lost. So I really look forward to my other thing. The website is prepared already. Everything is ready now. I start making content. And
I'm not sure, but I think Martin may have joined us on Oh yeah, that's from outside. Let's show this shot. I'm thinking what had just appeared on the stairs there, coming to ask me. So here's a shot of Martin. I need to just set his audio on.
Oh, bollocks! This is disgusting.
Oh, you didn't hear the bad
Gentlemen,
No ice
There's
cream
a,
life.
Rudy,
I strongly
couldn't
object
watch
to
your
this kind
show.
of behavior.
Rudy, I couldn't watch your show without having an ice cream. So I'm in the boot of my car, which is the best place to be. Well, I'm not, the kit is. And I've just about finished my ice cream. Hey, lovely.
What do you guys... This is the world of life ice creaming. Not the world of live streaming, but the world of live ice creaming. I'm trying to do a really professional show interview with Martin Kay, and the other Martin is outside having an ice cream.
Well, you know, someone's got to keep this on the kind of narrow, you know, straight edge, and that's me. Because all this in serious professional stuff, you know, you shouldn't have invited me along if you wanted that. Yeah, anyway, my ice cream's nearly gone. It was really nice. Devon clotted cream and vanilla.
Well, I just hope you bought one for everybody, Martin.
This is great.
Well, I did, but I couldn't get it back to you in time. Melted. So this one is yours, Giles. Rudy, yours has already gone, and I had two before that. So yeah, sorry. It's the thought that counts.
Well, yes, that is true. I think the
It's
World
very
Show
good,
might
though.
have to have ice cream in it,
Yeah.
because that's coming up after this one. So, yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, it's
Cheers.
good to know that you can get those here, Martin. What flavour was that?
This was clotted cream. Devonshire clotted cream and vanilla. Was very nice. Yeah,
Clotted cream.
I
and
recommend
vanilla.
them. Yeah, there's a little bit left.
No, we don't want to look at it. I'm going to cut over
What?
the other camera.
When I get back to you guys, I'll let you have a. No, I won't. I'll eat it. Anyway,
Amazing.
sorry to have taken your show, Rudy, off onto a. Yeah, I've lowered the tone. I know. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Well, I think, Giles,
Let's,
we need to conclude this part, I think, because this is too much for me.
we can.
I grab my bags, I go to Belgium. Very disappointed. So I think it was it for me, guys.
Did you want to say what it was like getting here? Because at the top of the show you said you were going to say that at the end of the show.
Yeah, well, it just, how the journey that brought me, I explained it a little bit, but
Yeah.
the funny thing is, you leave at your home at 7:30 a.m. Let's say 3 hours later, you're in England. The crazy thing is, or was, to be more specific, that the price of the train ticket from Brussels to London was cheaper than the train from London to here, if I should have taken the train. I said, it's not possible. So I waited for a few weeks, and then suddenly prices dropped with 40% on one day. So I ordered the thing, but then I went with the train again 1 hour from London to Corby, which is more or less towards the north of England. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we had a 4-hour drive, which made me, to say the least, nervous, because driving on the left is insane. well, the roundabouts are insane. I always want to take the other. Martin was driving, to be clear, but I was, oh, Martin, no, it's good. And then suddenly you drive here, big highways, no problem. And then Martin said, Rudy, do you know where you are? Yeah, probably in Devon. Quietness, hedges, no lights. Yesterday, when I arrived very late with Martin here, well, we had to drive backwards for 50 meters because only one car could pass at the same time. So, but it was all fun. And then, yeah, like I woke up this morning. It was the bleating of the sheep. Normally, I'm awake with sound of cars, airplanes, and yeah, other stuff. Oh, look! Oh, that's a bird. Oh, sheep over there. It's really amazing so far, the journey. It's only well, 1 day, but so far I really liked, and it's better than last year, staying at home just behind my computer in my remoteness. Now I'm here with 3 people. I met Martin briefly last year, but 3 people I met for the first time, and it makes it all worth. So
Yeah,
thank you, everyone.
It's really great to meet you as well, and I met Martin once before, and it's really great to have Martin back down in here. And Martin's on the camera. He's been, as you can see, moving it around so that I don't have to switch, which is brilliant. Must be getting a bit of a numb bum over there, I think, Martin. Yes, he is. So we'll wind this up in just a second, but just a few comments from the chat room. Merle says there's nothing like a pint of ice cream, that is. And Nissan Communications says Martin got some of this ice cream on his lens. That's Amnon. Greetings, Amnon. Yeah, I did spot a bit of ice cream on the lens. It's all the excitement, isn't it? Tommy Willis says, did you take the channel or the ferry?
I took the train. The ferry. Then it really takes too long. But I have the choice between the plane. It's 10 minutes. Well, quarter of an hour walk for me to get to the airport. But all the hassle with we have hassle now with customs also. But the train is really a journey, and I can do a switch on. Then I am seeing all these things I saw, the great train journeys. Okay, the journey wasn't that great to come to London, but it's relaxed. It's more relaxing, a train. You can sit. You have plenty of room, more than in a plane, and it's fast. I think when you count everything, it's faster, and it's rather cheap to come over here. So
it's fantastic, isn't it? What an amazing thing. Well, thank you, Rudy.
Welcome,
it's
Charles.
been really great to
you.
have you here, and I hope you will stay with us, of course, for the World of Live Streaming.
No, I'm going for my ice cream.
Yes. Well, we're all going to go out for an ice cream, and so there's going to be 11 minutes of dead air while we just go and chill out. No, there won't be really. So thank you for watching, and thank you, Rudy, and
You're welcome.
we will catch up with you soon.
Ta-da!